All right, here we are, Coach's Corner, episode number 6. Seth Humphrey here with Coach Christian, and today we're going to talk about targets and some goal setting. So, you want to get us kind of started off?
Yeah, absolutely. I think whenever clients come in the first time and they meet with Seth, and their main goal out of the gate is, I want to lose 20 pounds. So they set that goal of 20 pounds, and it's at the top of the mountain. So they're looking up, and they're coming in, being consistent because they want to achieve that goal. They want to get to the top of the mountain and climb all the way up and get it. Once they achieve that and get to that goal, and they've kind of ignored the process of what it took to get there, so they ignored the journey of going all the way up there. Once they're at the top of the mountain, they're looking down and they're just like, my foot was on the gas, I'm going to take my foot off the gas, put the brake in, they got the parking brake on because they just feel like they can coast now. They've hit the 20 pounds. They didn't really fall in love with the process and the journey of climbing that mountain, so they didn't fall in love with the steps that it took to get there. You fall in love with the steps that it takes to get there, and you'll want to repeat that process again and find a new goal because you've enjoyed what it took to hit that big goal.
Yeah, and that's the negative side of it. And when you're in business, you kind of learn where, back in 2013-14, we did a 20-pound challenge. Before it was the cool thing to do. We actually relaunched that back in 2020, and we ran it for about a year. But we've pulled that off of our coaching and what we do, and the reason for that is because people will go into a challenge, and when they're in that challenge for 42 days or the 75 hard or whatever it is, they go into that challenge and they push hard for those 42 days or for that 75 days, and they almost like expend all their energy and willpower into this to get to this one mountain, like kind of like Christian was saying, is like, and to climb up that mountain. But I think my thing is like this life has no finish line until there is a finish line, until it's done. A few things that we do in my coaching with the guys I coach online, but then also for the clients that want to tap into that and quit that starting and stopping and create a life that they love, is one, we got to get clear on where we are with the facts. If we don't have some clarity of where we are with the facts, then that destination that we're going to is going to be really difficult to get there because we're living in fantasy. Now, when we get clear on what it is that we actually want, that's the same thing as like you climb that mountain, but then there's another level to that, right? And so then what happens is individuals is they'll get done with that challenge. When they get done with that challenge, they'll go back to their patterns and their behaviors that they had before, and then they find themselves in the same position. So then they're looking up a mountain that they've already traveled up. And so it's like, oh, I got to do this again. And they know how hard it's going to be, and they know all the hard work it's going to take. And I'm speaking with 100% integrity because I've been that dude who gets to the top and rolls back down because I've made mistakes and ate too much or done fallen into my old habits again. And so you get to that point where life starts to pass by pretty quick, and you start to realize it's like, man, I want to have these results, and I want to maintain and sustain these results. And that's ultimately what we're trying to help our clients do is, Let's get clear on where we are. Let's get clear on where we want to go. And let's say we're doing that for a year, because what the clients we're working with, we want to work with you consistently. We want to do life with you. And so with that, now once we can start to get clear on where we're wanting to go, now this month, what has to happen? Here's where you want to go. Here's where you are. This month, what are some obstacles that are in your way that you want to, that you know that's going to be hard to overcome? For me, that's been the weekend eating as far as that stuff goes. Push hard all during the week, and then the weekend eating, we get bored. And once we get bored, then the next thing I know is I'm overeating or thinking about the next thing I'm going to eat. For me, and for the clients inside the Vitality Meal, we do kind of our Fit 4. Yep. It's like, okay, this month, what are the 4 items, the obstacles that are in front of me, and then what are the 4 solutions for those obstacles that we can make that are measurable? So this past month for me, it was like, okay, well, I'm going to allow myself to have 2 cold brews a week because I want to be caffeine free by the end of 2023. So then just setting those 2 cold brews. Other side of that is I'm going to plug everything that I eat inside of MyFitnessPal just to get me some skill sets and to build up and be aware of what I'm taking in as far as that stuff goes. So you want to go kind of into more Fit 4 and identifying and talking about that a little bit?
Yeah, so with the Fit 4, I think what Seth was saying with having that month where you have that target of those little things that you're going to focus on, because it's not about having that one big goal at the very top of the mountain. It's about having all these small little individual goals to get you to that part of the mountain, to get you, help you achieve your ultimate goals and just keep it a lifestyle.
After that month is over with, so now you've done, like, for instance, okay, I've plugged all my food into MyFitnessPal, I've quit eating after 8 o'clock, I've hit my 10,000 steps, and you do that, then you can kind of start to reset. And so for me, this next one is like, all right, well, 2,000 calories and 200 grams of protein is the macros that I need to hit to be in a calorie deficit to get to the direction I want to get to as far as weight goes. And this don't have to be just weight loss. We can add weight to, if we want to add weight, we can maintain weight. But what happens from there then is now we have to course correct. Did you do what you said you were going to do? If you did what you said you were going to do, now we got to start looking at it and tighten it up a little bit more. So now it's 1 cold brew on Wednesdays. And so then I'll have 4 cold brews for the month. It's the animal flow movement that I'm doing. Okay, well, I've done that 1 time a week. Now I'm going to bump it up to 2 times a week. And so we start to add as far as that stuff goes. Okay, well, 2,000 calories, 200 grams of protein. I know what that gets me and I know where I'm at with that, but I like to have some extra food on the weekend. So let's just shave 400 calories throughout the week, saving an extra 1,000 calories for Saturday, an extra 1,000 calories for Sunday. So now I can have 3,000 calories apiece. And so my point in this is as success-driven individuals, we look up at the mountain and we look at how far we have to go. And what we don't do is we don't look at the process and we don't look at all the wins that we stack along the way. So if you'll just turn around and look and be like, oh, I made it to the gym 3 times. I tracked all my food. I only had my 1 cold brew. The scale may not necessarily say what you want to say, but the data shows you that you're headed in that right direction. And so if we can just focus on the facts, then it gets clear what the feelings are about those facts, but you can't get into your feelings until you have the facts. And then what's my focus going to be on this month? And then what's the fruit? What's the results of me focusing on that? And so, and that's a lot of mindset stuff too, but that's ultimately what we are helping our clients with inside the Vitality Mill is they're at this point where 40 and above, time's limited. You know, my dad, I just now looked at, my dad would have been, he had a birthday this week. He passed away back in 2016. So what I did back when he passed away in 2016, he was 69 years old. And I looked at it then, how old I was, and I started looking at it. I was like, damn, I got like 35 years. If I start looking at how old he is now and how old that I could potentially be, that's 35 years. And when you start thinking about that, it's like, oh, I don't have much time left. I need to really start to really focus on the remainder of the time. And the remainder of the time, I don't want to be focused on always trying to lose the same 5 to 10, 20, 30 pounds or whatever that may be. And so it makes life a lot funner when you have a game that you kind of set yourself up to play and ultimately win in the end of, as far as that stuff goes. You have anything else you want to say?
Yeah, I think the last thing that I would add with that is nobody wants to do this alone. So accountability partner is huge, and the way you're going to find that accountability partner is surrounding yourself around like-minded people. So people that have either similar goals or have that hungry mindset. Because I know Seth, since I've been working with him and being around him, he's my motivation. I see his stories on Instagram. He sees my stories on Instagram, and we kind of push each other and keep each other hungry, keep each other going. So surrounding yourself around like-minded people like that is going to make it way easier to sustainably have that lifestyle.
And that's what we do inside the Vitality Mill is you have those individuals that are over 40 that have injuries, that have limitations, that are beginners, or they've done it and they've got there before, they did it the hard way, doing the CrossFit and the boot camps or the no carbohydrates or whatever, and they're just looking to surround themselves with individuals that are pushing in that same direction, that understand, and someone that cares. When you have individuals that care, what happens is you don't want to let them down. So I guarantee you there's clients inside the Vitality Mill that Christian's holding accountable that when he's asking them, they're thinking about what they're putting in their mouth because they don't want to let him down, and they don't want to come back and say, well, I didn't do what I said I was going to do, because that's our number one core value as far as that stuff goes. It's like, do what you said you're going to do, and you'll win the majority of it as far as that goes. So if you are looking for a place above 40, you've got injuries, you have limitations, you've not worked out before, or maybe you have worked out before and you go to your old style workouts where you do the hard stuff and you think that it's got to be all chest day or something like that. It's like, it doesn't have to be that way. If it's something you're just running or you're doing high intensity and you're not getting the results that you want, we'd ask you to come in and spend a couple of months with us. Let us show you what we do, and at the end of it, if it's something that we blow you away, then great, you found yourself a new place to get sustainable results. And if you haven't and you don't like it, I'll give your money back. It's as simple as that. So for Seth Humphrey, Coach Christian, episode number 6 of Coach's Corner is done.